Hey, what's up you guys? Lambkin here, hope you're all doing good. Today we're going to talk about Yoshimitsu's Soul Stealer, aka Flash. The reason for this is that I continuously witness people fail to understand what this move actually is and what it does. I think that legitimate criticisms towards Flash could be made, but there's just so much uninformed nonsense constantly popping up, especially on such places as the Tekken Reddit, regarding this move specifically. And if I sound a bit cross today, it's because I'm just so sick of listening to people who have absolutely no clue what they're talking about, and are speaking way too confidently about balancing and game mechanics, even though they have no game knowledge at all. Like, obviously, it's okay to have opinions and all that, but once you start spreading misinformation and say things that are just factually incorrect, that's where I have to put my foot down. Right? Now, it's obvious to me that a lot of these people are just people who are quite new to the franchise, and they don't have the legacy game knowledge. They haven't actually gone into practice mode to test anything before. They just think they know shit. Like, for example, I'll give you a few examples. I've seen so many posts on the Tekken Reddit of people complaining about specifically Flash. These kind of posts pop up all the time. Every now and then you'll see these eventually if you just look for them, right? It's almost always complaints that are completely unsubstantiated, and there's always not one but several people in the comments on those posts saying shit that just is completely wrong. Just to name a few things here, I've seen people say that Flash is a parry. I've seen people say that it's an unblockable. I've seen people be completely unaware that no sword stance Flash is 8-frame startup. They think that all versions of Flash are 6-frame startups, even the launching ones, right? I've seen people complain about Flash being safe, even though it's launch punishable on block. They just assume it's safe because they're never ready for it. They never get to punish it, which is hilarious, right? Because like pretty much half of the Yoshi matchup is just baiting out Flash and trying to get a read on your opponent's Flash, so that you can punish it. I've seen people act as if back-turn Flash setups are some sort of like unintended bug exploit that needs to be patched out or something, and they're saying shit like quote-unquote track and aid as if it's not a legacy mechanic that's been in the franchise for more than 20 years, at least since Tekken 4, right? And it is 100% an intended behavior. It's not a bug or a glitch or anything, or a tracking issue. But yeah, what's really going on here should rather be referred to mash and aid, if you ask me, because maybe if you stopped mashing for just 1 second, you wouldn't be eating Flash constantly. And you could start taking Ws from the Yoshis that are just farming you for free wins. Listen, I'm not trying to shit on new players or people who struggle with the matchup. But if you're gonna post a video of yourself eating 3 Flash setups in a row with some sort of cheeky or like snarky title or comment like "Welcome to Track and Aid" or some shit like that, thinking you're being real clever, then I'm gonna call bull. Anyway, today I'm gonna teach you everything there is to know about Yoshimitsu's Soul Stealer, aka Flash, or at least everything I know about it, so that after watching this video, you will be better equipped to deal with this move. Let's get started. Alright, first things first. This right here is Yoshimitsu's Soul Stealer, also known as Flash. It is a 1+4 input, and it is the fastest attacking move in the game. Now, as you'll find out in this video, it is an incredibly powerful move that has a lot of utility, but as you will also come to find out, it has a lot of limitations and weaknesses. So let's get into them. First thing you need to understand about Flash is that it is not a reversal, it's not a parry, and it's not unblockable. Just like any other move, attacking move like a kick or a punch, it can be blocked. Now, when talking about Flash, an important distinction has to be made between his normal Flash and his no sword stance Flash, because there are some quite big differences between the two, both in frame values and in attack properties. So first of all, you will notice when you're out of stance, or in your normal stance, whatever you want to call it, when you have your sword out and you're not in heat, the Flash has a 6-frame startup. If you look down in the bottom left corner of the screen, you will see that it says attack startup frames 6 to 9. What this means is that the attack animation has 6 frames of startup, and then the attack hitbox, so the active hitbox of the attack, which is the amount of time, the amount of frames to be more specific, that the attack can connect on your opponent, is from the 6th frame to the 9th frame. So it has, in other words, 3 frames of active frames here. Now, when you go into no sword stance, the frames change quite dramatically here. You go from 6 to 9 to 8 to 11. So this the no sword stance has a 8-frame startup, not a 6. So it's 2 frames slower, and it actually makes a big difference in a lot of scenarios. You might not think that 2 frames is a lot, but it is actually a huge difference. So this version of Flash, of course being the one that launches as well, we'll get into that, is quite a bit slower than the normal Flash here. Now, one thing that is also important to note here is that when you're in heat, you will always get the slow version. You will always get the no sword stance, the NSS version of Flash, no matter if you have your sword out or not. If I'm in no sword stance in heat, I will still get the 8-frame startup, and even if I have my sword out like now, I will still get 8-frame startup. So you have to be aware of that. The Flash will always launch when he's in heat, and he will always have the slow version of the Flash when he's in heat. Also worth noting here is that Yoshimitsu can actually activate his Flash from his Kincho stance, but if he does so, it becomes a lot slower, and now it's actually 10-frame startup. And the NSS version is 12-frame startup from Kincho. Alright, so now that we covered the startup frames on the different Flashes, let's talk about the actual properties of the moves. So the normal type of Flash here will give you plus 14, it will force crouch on your opponent. So you cannot follow up with a high or anything like that. It has to be a mid, but since it is a true plus 14, you do get a free follow-up here, as long as it's 14 frame startup or faster. So I can do down forward 1-4, if I want a wall splat, I can do a CD2, that's also a free follow-up, or of course I can do back 2-2 for a heat engager, something like that. And if I'm in no sword stance, the Flash will give me a launcher. And this is also true, of course, as we covered already, for the heat version. Alright, so this is where we get into some of the big weaknesses of Flash, because it's all looked very strong so far. But this is where the part where we talk about the range. And the range, or lack thereof I should say, yeah, it's pretty much non-existent. You cannot connect Flash. It has basically no range. Even if your opponent is walking right into me, I cannot connect a Flash here. The only way you're gonna do it, and this is a little bit character specific, is that if you're off axis to the left, now this is just gonna get neutral blocked, and it's very specific. See, if I'm a little bit off axis, it won't connect. I'm too much off axis, it won't connect again. It depends on the character and their idle animation. Yeah, basically Flash has absolutely no range. Again, even if they walk into me, I cannot connect it here. I cannot even dash into them. The only way you connect Flash is by people literally running into you or pressing into you. That will be like, yeah, attacking into you, right? And that's why I say that to not play around Flash is to not understand the Yoshi matchup. If you keep eating Flash, it's because you keep pressing into Yoshimitsu, you keep mashing into him. Now, the no sword stance version of the Flash, although it is slower, and this is the one that gives a launcher too, by the way. This one does have more range than the normal flash. So I can actually dash in and connect this. The range is still very poor compared to other moves, but it is better than the normal version. I even have some troubles connecting this by dashing into him. See, so it's still the range is still not great. I can go a little bit off axis here, and of course it's -20 on block. It used to be -15, which is launch punchable. Now it's even worse at -20, and that goes for both versions of Flash. The normal, I don't even know if I can connect this to demonstrate. But yeah, both versions, all versions of Flash are -20 launch punishable. And they also added these new particle effect to the move, making it easier for the opponent to visually confirm the animation, and they also made the recovery on whiff on all versions a lot slower. So there's absolutely no excuse for whiff punishing or launch block punishing Flash anymore. Now, Flash can be activated from back turn, and it sort of has a 360 hitbox, so you can actually connect it from back turn. Although the range is still piss poor, just like the front-facing, forward-facing Flash. There's really no difference in this. You have to be pressing into him to get hit by this. Like so. And no, the back turn Flash is not a glitch or a bug that needs to be fixed. It does not have unintended tracking or anything like that. It has always worked like this. And I'm in Tekken 7 here demonstrating. The only way that back turn Flash works, again, is if you press into it. If you get hit by it, it's because you are mashing into Yoshi, or you are pressing on wake up or something like that, getting caught by setup. I'll go through some of the Flash setups with you as well. But just to reiterate here, it's not a tech catch or anything. You have to be pressing into him because of the range of Flash. There's no, it is 100% on you if you get hit by this. Alright, now that we're already on Tekken 7 Yoshi here, let's take a moment to gain a little bit of a perspective into how nerfed his Flash actually is in Tekken 8 compared to his former version here. So if you're complaining about Tekken 8 Yoshi's Flash, and you're gonna want to see this shit right here. So basically, Flash is the same in this game in a lot of ways. You have the 6-frame startup, you have the 8-frame startup in the NSS version. You still have the same range problems as always. You can connect the NSS version a lot easier though. But one thing that a big difference between this game and Tekken 8 is, first of all, you don't have the new particle effects, so it's a lot harder to visually confirm his Flash animation. Also, it recovers quite a bit faster in this game, so it's more spammable. Harder to whiff punish, and it's also all versions of Flash except the Kincho version is -15 in this game. So still launch punishable, but -15 to -20 is such a huge difference. Like, honestly, you guys don't know how good you have it playing against Yoshi's Flash in Tekken 8 compared to this. And the biggest of all is that a normal Flash, a 6-frame starter version, is a normal hit launcher in this game. You see? Giving a full combo. Look at this, 87 damage in Tekken 7. That's actually insane. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell, that's still one of the best moves ever in a Tekken game. Like 6-frame startup, normal hit launcher that gives a full combo, right? Even if his Tekken 8 version of the Flash is significantly worse compared to this one, and that's still an amazing move, right? And you would be right, but you have to realize also that in Tekken 7, Yoshi actually had the worst win rate online. I'm not exaggerating, he had the worst win rate of any character online. And it's not because he's super hard to play or anything. It's true that he's an incredibly complex character, but he's not at all difficult when it comes to execution or anything like that. His game plan is kind of not so straightforward. He has a lot of gimmicky stuff, of course, but having such a good move, you'd think that he'd actually do better than not have necessarily the worst win rate in the entire game, right? But Yoshi's just not really a good character in this game. And this is one of the saving graces for him, and it was a very character-defining move, always sort of has been, but especially in Tekken, in the competitive Tekken games, ever since online became a real thing and competitive play, right? Even though he was never really a competitive character, it's just a move that he cannot do without. He's already has the worst win rate in the entire game. You never saw Yoshis in tournaments in Tekken 7 unless they were like super specialist, like iMusician, Kanan Trench, and guys like that, right? They would stand a chance because they were so exceptionally good. Not as necessarily as Yoshi players, but just good Tekken players, you know. But yeah, this is of course an incredible move, and the reason that they nerfed it a lot in Tekken 8 is because Yoshi just became a lot better character in Tekken 8 overall. He got a lot more fundamental stuff. He got a lot of good utility and stuff like that. So they had to nerf some of his healing and his flash got a big hit to it as well. Some of his unblockables. The startup on his windmill is incredibly fast in this game compared to Tekken 8 as well. Like he got a bunch of nerfs, and deservedly so. But you have to realize that Flash is not really the main issue with Yoshi. It has always been there, and it has always been super strong, and it's actually never been weaker than it is in Tekken 8 right now. And again, that's why I emphasize a failure to play around Flash is a failure to understand the Yoshimitsu matchup as a whole. If Flash is the reason you're losing all the time, and if Flash is always the #1 complaint, it is not the fault of Flash or Yoshimitsu. It is your fault. It's 100% on you. I'm just sorry, but that just is the case. It's always been like that, and most likely always will be like that. At least that's how it stands right now. Alright, so now that you know the basics of the Flash and a little bit of the history behind the Flash, I suppose, now I'm going to show you some of the most commonly utilized frame traps and setups that involve Flash. And I promise you that once you become aware of these situations, and once you start applying this knowledge, you will beat 95% of Yoshi players online. It's just that simple. Once you learn how to deal with this, your life will become so much easier. So let's have a bit of a look. Alright, so when we're talking about frame traps and setups with Flash here, the main thing you want to be aware of is you want to have a rough estimate of your frame advantage. So a frame trap would be something where Yoshi, if you just go with the fast version of Flash, right, the 6 frame version, it will be something like when he is a -3 or less, you have to be aware of the potential Flash turnstile, the frame trap setup, right? So it could be something like the helicopter from the Dragonfly stance. It's only a -2 on block, meaning that if you try to jab check me here, for example, you will get counter hit with the Flash. Same thing goes for something like 2-2. This is a classic one. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna have to do like this, right? This one's only -1 on block, and since he goes automatically into NSS for the 8 frame Flash here, you will get interrupted with this one as well if you try to jab check him. Now, when we're talking about setups, you have to be aware of situations where you're +4 or more. So anything where he's safe and where he's in no sword stance or in heat. It's not so that much. It's not so scary when he is in his normal stance here. Let me explain. Flash can be done from ducking, and a lot of Flash setups they have to do with doing a safe move and then ducking and punishing you, whiff punishing you with Flash. But this is not really possible with the normal Flash because again the range is so poor. You cannot really whiff punish anything with this. But this is different when you're doing the NSS version of the Flash or the in heat version. Now I can duck -9 move and launch punish you with the NSS Flash here. And so you have to be aware of moves like, for example, the most popular ones here, I'm just gonna list, like avoiding the puddle up forward 4. You're gonna have to be aware of 3 till the 4, this move right here. Is also a quite popular one. You're gonna have to be aware of forward 2, it's also -9. Now of course I could just like do while standing launcher here as well. I don't have to be to do a flash, right? But the thing about this is it's just a lot harder to visually confirm for the Yoshimitsu player, and it can get blocked in a situation like this, especially online, right? So you have to be aware of situations like this, where you're gonna get if the Yoshi player notices that you're very trigger happy with the jab checks, he's gonna start doing NSS setups like these, and you're gonna be eating them every single time. So you have to be aware of the frames, whether you're heavy plus or not so heavy plus. Doesn't mean you can never challenge, it just means that you have to be aware of these setups. You have to be aware of whether he's in heat or NSS. Like, use your eyes, use your brains when you're fighting Yoshimitsu. Now let's get into some back turn flash setups. Now most commonly these are set up by ending your combo early or in a specific way that sets up a tech roll where your opponent, again if it's a trigger happy, mash your opponent. If they do an attack on wake up, you can hit them with the back turn flash as long as you're in no sword stance or in heat. So those are the kind of situations where you have to be aware of. You especially have to look out for moves like up forward 3 and forward 4. Let me try and explain here. So a typical comp setup could look something like this. And then ending my combo early like this. You see how it puts me right up against the opponent here. Let me see. Now it doesn't. Notice that the flash is not going to connect here, even though I'm in NSS and right up against him. It requires him to press into me in some sort of way, and that's how this setup works. It's not a tech catch. You cannot use this as a tech catch at all. That's not how it works. You have to be pressing into him. So as long as you identify this right here, you get a free launcher. Now there's other ways to set this up as well. At the wall, a lot of Yoshis will sometimes end the wall combo with this string right here, 4-3, 4. It will also set up a back turn flash. Another, let me see, another popular one to do from a combo on an open stage here would be something like heat burst into this, dash up, forward, 3. Now this is sort of a sideway flash setup, I suppose. This will, again, just like the other one, hit you if you press into it. And this one you have to be aware that even though I have my sword out, it's still a NSS flash because I activated heat here, so I'll still have the extended range on the flash. So those are sort of the back turn flash setups that you have to look out for as well. And again, as long as you can identify these and not panic, not press into them, just stand up, tech roll if you want to. There's absolutely no risk in tech rolling against Yoshi here. You just bait out the flash and take your launch punish. It's that simple. You just have to be aware of these matchups specific situations right here, and there's a few of them that are like very rotated among all Yoshimitsu players. There's very rare you're gonna see like a super unique setup. So once you know most of these, you're gonna be beating most Yoshimitsu. But let me show you a couple clips from some real matches I did a while back, just to show you sort of in practice how these works, because it's a little bit different to demonstrate it in here than actually in a real match. So let's have a look.
Round 1. Fight.
Alright, you guys. This video has already become a lot longer than I wanted it to be, and a lot longer than I anticipated. But I wanted to be thorough, and I hope that you can take the information that I've shared today and apply it, so that you won't have to be eating Flash constantly anymore. You won't have to come crying to me or on the Tekken Reddit or whatever. I'm sorry. It's just there's so many. The reason I made this video again is just I've seen so many misconceptions, so much false information. I just want to clear some things up. I want you to understand what this move and this character is about. I want you to have the counterplay. I don't want to like gatekeep. I don't want to shit on new players or whatever. It's just that I have to correct the sort of things when I see it. You know what I mean? It is a very discussed move. It's a very debated move, and it has been for a while. Ever since the spotlight has been shining so bright on Yoshimitsu in Tekken 8 compared to previous installments, we have a lot of new players coming in, not really understanding how the moves works and stuff. And again, I can see how it looks absolutely busted at first glance. And again, I'm not gonna argue that it's not an amazing move or anything, but it's just that it's not always as good as it seems. It has counterplay, it has weaknesses. It's not just this like win button you can just spam endlessly, you know what I mean? But yeah, again, now I'm rambling again, I'm sorry. I hope you found this video useful and informative. I hope I'll talk to you again soon. Have a good one. See ya. Bye.